Part 2, the Antichrist to be or not to be. That is the question. Moving along quickly, I don't want to make a long series, but I do want to keep your focus and attention first on Israel when we're looking at end-time Bible prophecy. But let's keep a close watch on the Vatican and the Jesuit Pope Francis. Now today, when we're looking at end-time Bible prophecy on the world stage, we see the mass slaughter and persecution of Christians, followers of Jesus Christ, especially in the Middle East. But let's go back to Rome. Let's go back to another time, to the time of Nero, when Rome burnt. Now, many eyes were on Nero. They believed that he is the cause. He wanted to rebuild his Roman Empire. So, to draw the attention off of him, he placed blame on the Christians of that time. And he persecuted them. He slaughtered them in mass numbers, tying them to poles and making human torches. In the arenas, he would tie Christians, entire families, tie them at a stake, and feed them to the lions. And this trend continued on throughout history. Then on the world stage comes Emperor Constantine, and now the Roman Catholic Church, following in the footsteps of Constantine, where the early popes, such as Pope Innocent and others to follow, would persecute Christians. That's right, they would persecute and put to death in mass numbers Christians who did not follow their false teaching, their false doctrine, their idolatry, their paganism, their perverse sexual rituals. They would put to death Christians who would open up and read the Bible, that would read the Bible for themselves rather than be taught their perverse false teachings and false doctrines. And we see this trend continuing on today within the Vatican, the Roman Catholic Church, where they are strongly into idolatry and paganism, Freemasonry. And this goes way, way back. They keep Christ, Yeshua, crucified on that cross. We can get into a lot when we're talking about the Roman Catholic Church and the Vatican. But I want you to keep all this in mind as we now, let's go over. I hope you have a pen and paper. Get your pen, get your paper out as we go over some of these attributes of the Antichrist to come. Let's begin at the bottom. We're going to work our way up from the bottom up. Let's go to number 49. At first, for a time, he will be worshipped, praised, and adored by the whole world. Now, like I said, many today are looking at Barack H. Obama, and they are convinced. But again, it is not members of the clergy. It is not Bible scholars, theologians, that are putting out this warning that Barack H. Obama is the biblical Antichrist. It is those YouTubers who are not members of the clergy. They are not Bible scholars. They are not theologians. They're YouTubers who believe in the living God, but have not got the time in the study and are not seasoned in the Word, that will have the multitudes believe that Barack Obama is the biblical Antichrist, when there may be something else we need to look at. So, this person will be worshipped and adored and praised by the entire world. Let's go on to number 48. Mystery Babylon the great city, and the whore of Babylon shall be destroyed during this reign. I'm going to throw this out here. A lot of people, again, who are not Bible scholars, who are not theologians, not seasoned, not clergy, believe America is Mystery Babylon and the Great Whore. But stay with me now. We're going to have to go back to a Catholic prophecy when we're looking at the Roman Catholic Church. Not a biblical prophecy, but the prophecy given by none other than Saint Malachi regarding the final pope. I'll be right back. Moving along quickly now for time's sake, but I don't want to move so quickly that we lose the importance of this teaching throughout this series. For right now, we're going to take a look at a non-biblical prophecy given by Saint Malachi. And we're going to see if, by the time I conclude, if we can tie in this non-biblical prophecy with true biblical prophecy, with true end-time Bible prophecy and the living word. The prophecy of Malachi, where he correctly names the last 111 popes, with the final pope being Peter the Roman. He did correctly name the last 10 popes we know beyond any shadow of a doubt. He correctly named the last popes, with the final pope being Peter the Roman or Petrus Romanus. Now, we don't have to get into an in-depth study. We've done this. We've done our homework. We know that this Jesuit pope, who is controlled by the Black Pope, we know that his name and where he came from perfectly matches this prophecy. That Pope Francis, his name perfectly matches Peter the Roman, Petrus Romanus. So we don't have to cover that. Let's move on. I'm going to move quickly to the very end of this article. And I want to share this with all of you. Peter the Roman, or Petrus Romanus. This final pope will likely be Satan. We know that Satan will possess a man, taking the form of a man named Peter, who will gain a worldwide allegiance and adoration. And we cover this in the attributes, 50 of them, of the biblical Antichrist to come, that he will form a worldwide allegiance. And he will be adored by everyone. And we find this connection. We can tie this in to true biblical prophecy. He will be the final Antichrist, which prophecy students have long foretold, just as you and I are prophecy students. If it were possible, even the very elect would be deceived. And we find this, we tie this in with the living word in Bible prophecy. The 112th prophecy states, now we're going to talk about Mystery Babylon and the Great Whore. In the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will reign Peter Romanus, who will feed his flock amid many tribulations, after which the seven-hilled city where the Vatican sits in Rome will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge the people. The end. That's the end of the prophecy. Could it be? So many YouTubers are just proclaiming and declaring the United States, which the United States of America will be judged, and it has no place. When we are reading the living word in Revelation, we're not there. Could it be Mystery Babylon? And I believe, and I know it is the seven-hilled city. Could it be that the Vatican, the Jesuit Pope, they believe in this prophecy of Malachi, and they are taking it very seriously? And is that why they are buying up property in the Holy Land, in Jerusalem? Malachi's final words: Rome, the seat of the Vatican, will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge the people.